Welcome to another edition of the Wranglers Roundup, talking Northern Arizona Wranglers football. And now, here's your host, James Poovey, Ed Cole, and Kevin Derryberry. Let's ride.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Colt Grill here in Prescott Valley, Arizona. James Poovey coming to you live here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers YouTube channel alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole. Ed, how are you this evening, sir?
Good evening. JP, it's good to be with you. I know we got KD and we got a special guest in the house. We got a special guest in our green room, so we got it popping here at Colt Grill.
That is exactly right. We are pleased as well to be joined by Mr. Kevin Derryberry. He's over on the side. He's going to be taking care of things here shortly, talking to one of the Northern Arizona Wranglers players, but it's great to be here, Ed. A fantastic environment here inside the Colt Grill, and we couldn't ask for much more than this for the first Wranglers Roundup show in person here in Prescott Valley.
Yeah, this is phenomenal to be here to represent the Northern Arizona Wranglers as part of their broadcast team in their inaugural season here at Colt Grill, just a stone's throw from the Findlay Toyota Center. It's a great atmosphere. We got our grub on right before the show. If you've never been to Colt Grill in Prescott Valley, you need to come here. This is a phenomenal restaurant. You will be treated like kings and queens, and the food is second to none.
Yes, it's going to be an outstanding evening here. What we're going to do is talk to a couple of coaches, a couple of players here as well. We're pleased to be joined by Zen Jones, a defensive lineman for the Northern Arizona Wranglers, and we're also going to be speaking with DJ Calhoun, one of the stud linebackers for the Wranglers as well.
Yeah, a lot of talent in the house, so we got to go ahead and spotlight the talent that we have on the Northern Arizona Wranglers as we get ready for the Spokane Shock to come here on Saturday afternoon.
That's exactly right. So what we're going to do now is go on over to Mr. Kevin Derryberry. He's going to pay a couple bills for us, and we're going to bring on Coach Promonte here really quick. We're going to talk about the Colt Grill right quick, Kevin.
Well, I got to be honest, guys, you just covered the Colt Grill right there. I didn't know we were going to the Colt Grill in our first ad there, but I will echo what the fellas said. Right here, we're in Prescott Valley at the Colt Grill, and the ambiance is fantastic. It's got that. It's got a great vibe to it. The food is incredible. It really is. Once you walk in the front door, the aroma will hit you immediately. And if you aren't taken in by the aroma, then barbecue's not your thing. But for Jay, the manager here at the Colt Grill, he has been absolutely phenomenal with his hospitality. Lindsay has been tremendous with her hospitality, and then the entire support staff, all the fellows in the kitchen, they do a great job here at the Colt Grill here in Prescott Valley, a big sponsor of Northern Arizona Wrangler football. Gentlemen.
Kevin, thank you so much for that. We are pleased now to be joined by the head coach here of the Northern Arizona Wranglers, Coach Dominick Promonte. Coach, how are you doing this evening?
I'm substantially above average.
We like to hear that, and thank you for joining us here tonight. We're excited to talk about this football team and the progression and the development of this franchise overall.
Listen, first of all, when you talk about Zen Jones, Zen is my guy. You know what I'm saying? He's the offensive lineman, not defensive lineman.
Okay.
He wants to be a defensive lineman. We're going to work his way there, but Zen is one of the best centers in the league, and we're fortunate to have a player of his caliber.
Coach,
Syracuse, man.
Yes, sir. Syracuse Orange. That's right. So, Coach, the season hasn't started clearly the way you wanted it to at 0-2, but it's just one of those things when you're in an inaugural season, things happen. You go on the road for your first football game, and things didn't end up the way you do. But that's the way. That's why you play a full season, not just 2 games.
The season, it did start the way we could say like we want to win. Yeah, everybody wants to win, but winning is a process. And you got to earn the right to win, and you don't win overnight, and that's where we're at right now, I couldn't ask for any more of what our guys give us than what they give us. I mean, they are hardworking, dedicated, phenomenal young men that give us everything that they have. And so does our record reflect it? No. The philosophy really is, we looked at the first 2 games as preseason games. Because, the NFL, you get preparation. You get off-season OTAs,
Sure, yes.
You get, a few weeks of camp. You get 4 preseason games. All that to prepare you for game number 1. We're an expansion team with new players. We got a week with COVID, And so we're not naive enough to understand that we are going to circumvent the process of winning. We're not going to circumvent the process of winning. So we had to take it from a position of, okay, this is where we're at. The first 2 games are strictly evaluation, strictly like we're going to look at it like preseason games, and we're going to evaluate our talent level. And from there, we'll make changes. And that's what we've done. We've turned this team over, and so the guys that are with us now, we look at going into the Spokane game as game number 1.
Okay, all right. So you've solidified the roster here. Obviously, you had a couple of games, like you say, preseason games, as you guys like to call them, a big test out of the gate with the Rattlers, and then you guys faced off against Bismarck.
Right.
You had some development in that second game. Some guys started playing better. Things started to gel a little bit more. Talk about the progression from game 1 into game 2 and some bright spots that you noticed there in Bismarck.
Game 1, you're playing against the best in the league, the Arizona Rattlers. And so we looked at it as a barometer game, what we looked at it. We didn't look at it like, hey, let's go in there and kick the Rattlers, what. We've got to earn the right to beat a team like the Rattlers. And so our game was a barometer game. We're going to compare our talent to their talent. We couldn't have asked for a better first game than the Arizona Rattlers because it gave us the idea of, okay, how do we compare talent-wise to them? And then once we looked at the tape and broke the tape down, then we started saying, okay, we need to upgrade at these positions. We're good at these ones. We're doing those things. Now we go to Bismarck. Now traveling on the road, 2 different time zones, doing the things that we do, being at the game, watching it live, it was kind of frustrating, because obviously we struggled in the start. But when you put the game tape and you broke the game tape down, you went, my goodness, everything that went wrong for us was at our own hands. And so you talk to the team, you go, hey, did we get beat or did we lose? Well, we lost. We lost. And so there's the improvement right from game 1 to game 2. Game 1, we got beat. Game 2, we lost. But the guys played both games. Fourth quarter came, you guys were there. You look at the effort of our guys in the fourth quarter against the Rattlers, you looked at it, we won the second half. That was our goal at halftime.
Right, yes.
It was a big, huge score at halftime that we were down. Our goal in the second was, hey, let's win the second half. And they went out and did that. They won the second half. Our goal in Bismarck was, let's go win the second half. And they did that. They went and won the second half. So as we're progressing and we're learning, our goal is to get better. We've got to get better at the beginning of games, at the start of games. And once we get that down, and we will,
yes,
we're going to compete. It's a process, though. We're not naive enough. We've had success. We understand what it takes to be successful, and so it's a process, and we have to trust the process. Now, does that mean we going into a game going, oh, man, we're going to get our tails kicked? No. What that means is we want to compete. And when you get 21 guys competing and all pulling on a rope at the same time, good things happen. We've got to get there first. We're just not going to show up and everybody's going to pull on the rope. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
There's no expansion teams that really, we're a true expansion team. We're not another franchise that came to this league.
Right.
From another league.
Of course.
We're a true expansion team.
Yes, sir.
And so we have to, go through the process of what that is. But I can tell you this, the mighty men of the Northern Arizona Wranglers, they give us everything that they have. Everybody this morning got up. It was Memorial Day. Everybody was celebrating with their families, and what a phenomenal day to honor our true warriors. The Northern Arizona Wranglers were practicing this morning. They weren't barbecuing. Coach. They were practicing this morning, and so we had a couple of hour practice, and they went to meetings. It was a work day for us. We talked to our guys and say, hey, man, what a great day to honor our vets, our deceased vets, the heroes that allowed us to play this beautiful game, then to go out in their honor and give us everything that you got for today's practice, and that's what they did. So every day is a bit of an improvement, every single day. Mm-hmm. So for you guys, I don't want you to look at, hey, man, if the game doesn't go well for us, that we're looking at it as a failure. It's another step in the ladder.
Yes.
It's a step closer to getting to where we want to be as a team,
Yes, sir.
And I'm more than thrilled and proud of our men and where we're at. Now, you might find that hard to believe being at 0-2, but I understand what an expansion team is, a true expansion team. I understand the journey.
You've been there, done that, and bought the T-shirt, right, Coach?
That. Been there,
got
done
the T-shirt
that.
and the hat.
Exactly right.
You know, and so
we're going to have you come back on here with us in a little bit and join KD over there, and you guys are going to talk about that upcoming game this Saturday at the Findlay Toyota Center against the Spokane Shock. But right now we're going to throw it over to KD, and he is with Zen Jones.
Thank you, gentlemen. We are here. We are pleasure to be with the big fella, 6'5", 295 big. That's in the large category. Zen Jones. First and foremost, Zen, I've got to ask you about the wherewithal from your name, your namesake. Your parents have to be a really bright group, a cerebral approach to life in general. You've got a really impressive name. If you would, just tell us how you became the young man Zen.
Yeah, like I'm growing up, mom and dad was crazy. They wanted to give me a unique name, so they blessed me with the best name in the world, Zen, and it carries over to my character as well.
It really does.
Yeah, and I think that's important to name your kids like what you want them to be, or that line, borderline.
Zen Jones, born in Los Angeles, California, makes you a West Coast guy. Spent a lot of time on the East Coast, collegiately at Syracuse, playing for the Orangemen and whatnot. But you come out of there with a degree. Congratulations to you. That's got to be really an impressive achievement.
Oh yeah, I made my mama proud, made her smile, made her happy with joy. I'm happy to do that for her. Felt good doing it.
They always talk about that you can't teach size, Zen, but 6'5", 295, now the anchor of that offensive line, the center. You've played offensive line in other positions at guard, maybe a little bit of left tackle, flirted with the defensive line, but now you're the captain of this offensive line. You're the center, working with your quarterback, Verlon Reed, and, of course, Caden Walters. What's that experience been like for you?
It's been great. I couldn't ask for any better guys than V and Caden. They're both great guys, and the whole line, the whole team is great, and I've just been blessed to be in this position and to be a leader to my team.
Just a year ago, Zen, you were playing for the IFL's San Diego Strike Force. What are some things that you can share with us about your experience there with San Diego, and now how you transitioned into the Northern Arizona Wranglers?
Yeah, they took this season off so they could come back next year. But it was good work playing for them. San Diego's close to home, Los Angeles, like 4 hours, 3 hours. So that was great to travel back and forth when I wanted to. But yeah, San Diego was fun. It was good program.
What type of transition was that like for you, being a West Coast guy growing up in Los Angeles and then making your way to the East Coast to play college football in the Carrier Dome of all places?
Yeah, it's just mindset, man. The first couple of weeks was rough because I wasn't used to the snow and the cold. I actually came out to Syracuse with just shorts and T-shirt and no jacket, me being a Cali guy.
Right.
But woke up pretty soon and I learned quick that, But it was good. It was like night and day. It's like weather from the people. But it's good to have that transition and see different parts of the world.
We're speaking with Zen Jones. He's the center for the Northern Arizona Wranglers. And you talk about your name, and go back to that just for a second. You've got this calm, cool, collective approach about you. And we, going back and forth here before today's program, we talked about surviving on this roster and how there have been so many changes. What has been the ingredient for you to be successful where you've been able to maintain and be a mainstay on this roster?
Go back to mindset, just being the best that you can be every day. Don't take no for an answer. Just off-season grind is real. That's the most important, that off-season, because it gets you prepared for the end season. So that's what I just been mainly focused on this past season, was getting right in the off-season, dropping weight, and being the best man I can be.
Well, you've come into camp here in the first couple of weeks. You've been in great shape. Obviously a team guy. Just a quick note for you. From Syracuse, New York, did you spend any time in downtown Manhattan? Did you get to kind of explore New York a little bit and enjoy the finer points of New York and maybe some of those great restaurants and just the overall vacation lifestyle there?
I wish I couldn't say that I have, but when we went to the bowl game in Prince George Bowl 2013, 2012, that's the only time I spent out in the city of New York. But it was a good experience, man. Like seeing all the big buildings and the skyscrapers and the people. a good experience. But I wish I would have visited more to the city.
Right. Zen, and gentlemen, I got to share with you, Zen, I mentioned that he got his degree at Syracuse, and Zen is a communications major. So watch out, fellas. This guy is poised to jump in the broadcast booth with us at some point.
Anytime.
Fantastic stuff from our sideline reporter, Mr. Kevin Derryberry, and Mr. Zen Jones. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Zen.
What more can you tell us about that wonderful young man over there, Coach Promonte?
You know, since day one, he's worked extremely hard, pushes himself extremely hard, pre and post practice. He's a team guy, and that's all you can ask for when you ask guys to work the way we do. They don't give us their opinion. We work them hard, man. These guys work hard.
Yes.
And he's a leader out there. And when guys started seeing Zen, putting in the extra work and doing the things that he does, they started putting in the extra work and doing it. And that's all you can ask for in players, and so he's a true leader, of our team. We're blessed to have him. We're blessed to have him.
Coach, we talked at the beginning of the season and even before the season started about you guys trying to find some of those superstars from Rent-A-Car, guys that are really not on anyone's radar or anyone's map. Have you found any of those guys here in the first couple of weeks of the season?
Absolutely. We find them every week. We've turned over the roster. If I show you an up-to-date roster, you guys would go, these guys aren't
on our... Hey, we need one of those, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These guys aren't on the list, and so we're not having a hard time finding players to come to beautiful Prescott Valley, Arizona. We're not having a hard time. The phones ring every day, for players to come to this community, and the setup that Mr. Medlock has set up for them is a lifestyle. So our players come here and they enjoy a lifestyle. Where they live and how they live and everything. And players appreciate that, especially guys that have been in the league.
Yes.
And have played and lived in places that they don't really take good care of their players. Mr. Medlock does a phenomenal job in taking care of the coaches and the players. And so we're very fortunate. I am so optimistic about our future, man. I can yell and scream, stand up on this table. I don't know if it
go for it, Coach. It's sturdy. It's sturdy.
And say, hey, man, the future is bright. And the future is bright. There is light at the end of the tunnel. At first, I thought that was the light. I said, there it is.
It's right there.
There's the light at the end of the tunnel.
It's right there.
It's right there, as bright as all. And I find out it's a light for the set, And so, it is the light. The light at the end of the tunnel is phenomenal. And we're building a team that will have long-term sustained success. That's the thing, man. That's when we were talking in the last segment about, it didn't start the way you wanted. Who said it didn't start the way we wanted? We're building a team that, will represent this amazing community and build it for sustained success. And we're on our way.
I think KD's got a question for you, Coach.
Coach Promonte, first and foremost, I'm curious how you appreciated our green room. I know you've done Leno, you've been on Letterman before, you've done your big time sweeps runs, but how'd you like our green room here at the Colt Grill?
He wants to know how you like the green room over there, Coach.
Listen, when I did Letterman and I was in his green room, there were snacks and drinks and videos and guest hosts.
Well,
your green room consists of a corner. There's the green room.
There's a couple high chairs over there too.
And I went, green room? It's more like the brown room. Like no snacks, none of those things. So. Did I enjoy my time in the green room? No.
We're a low-budget show, Coach. What can we tell you?
No, that was...
low budget, but high in class.
Yes. Always.
Low budget,
always,
but high in class.
Always.
So.
Coach B, you got to know by now, that is what they call a professional icebreaker. That's what that was. And so we got to segue that in for you, Coach B. But really, I wanted to ask you about our quarterbacks from one week to the next. Obviously, we lost Furlong Reed in Game 1 against the Rattlers, but in Game 2, with a full week of practice, Caden Walters made some plays for you, especially in that second half, combining for 307 total yards
And 6 touchdowns.
with 6 touchdowns. I thought he was impressive, and I thought he, in a challenging situation on the road, I thought he was able to move the football with some regularity for you.
He's asking about Caden.
Yes.
Okay. Because we're such a high-buzzed show, I don't have a headset, so I couldn't hear really the question of what he was saying. I could tell you this. We felt coming into the season that our strength was our quarterbacks. You know, with Verlon Reed Jr. and Caden, Walters, we really,
Yes.
and then we
Yes.
have our third string, Keenan Black. We really believed it was a strength. When Verlon got hurt against the Rattlers, if we didn't have Caden Walters, I would have been in a panic. We would have called. I would have acted red.
Yes.
I would have acted red in a red situation. But with Caden Walters, what he's done in 2 games and how far he's improved in each game is amazing. And so he's what an exciting player. You guys tell me, how enjoyable is it to watch him play?
He's so much fun to watch, guys. I mean, the toughness is what really stands out to me. I mean, he takes some shots, and he gets right back up off the turf, Coach, and he'll call his own number when need be, when there's nothing there and the play breaks down. It's all about the toughness as far as I've seen from Mr. Walters.
And Lord knows he bleeds from every orifice on his body.
Yes, I noticed that.
I mean, when you're
Yes.
talking to him, like they're
saw
putting like
blood
cork,
running down his leg
they're
or something.
putting like cork in the holes of everything that's like they're oops, there goes another rubber tree, like another hole in the dam.
Yeah.
You guys, I don't know, you might be too young for that song, a little Sinatra there.
I tell you what, I thought Caden, he brought in some leadership. I thought he brought in some veteran presence. And I thought that his athleticism was really second to none. But just the fact that he was out there playing easy, and I thought he did a great job of leading your football team, and he made a lot of plays. And he did it with
The term is fearless.
He was fearless.
Fearless, yes.
He's fearless. I mean, me
Dual
and
threat.
our offensive coordinator, Landrick Brody, we kind of bang our heads in a way going, my God, does he need to get hit to he gets hit and he just jumps up and he's all amped up. And you're just like, you're covering your eyes how he just got hit, going, please get up. And he's jumping up like, yeah, I just got hit. Yeah, He's a football player. I mean, he really is. He's a football player.
And, gentlemen, he's a high-character football player, too. A yes or no, sir kind of guy. Very respectable in my interaction with him. A great get by your team and Matty Kayward and all the you guys that facilitate that, getting these guys in here. We know this roster's changed a couple times, but that's a solid guy in the room.
Appreciate it. Did Matt Kayward pay you extra for that plug?
No, he didn't. But Matty and I, we've got an immediate bond.
A little symbiotic relationship there.
It's something.
I wouldn't really say that over the air if I were you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to keep that. I think what's the term? The down low? You need to keep a symbiotic relationship between you and Matt Kayward on the DL.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Well, Ed, do you have anything else for Coach Promonte before we send him over there with KD to preview this upcoming game this Saturday? It's going to be Veterans Night out there at the Findlay Toyota Center, so that's very exciting. We're going to pay tribute to some brave men and women who have fought for our country and for the right for us to do this here tonight.
That was my question. Coach, what does it mean? What does Memorial Day mean to you, and that the team is going to celebrate Veterans Night, as JP talked about on Saturday, how we can honor the veterans and our fallen soldiers, our brothers and sisters?
It means everything. I mean, everything it means. Without the mighty warriors of the United States of America and the history of our country, without them, we wouldn't be sitting here doing what we're doing, which is our passion. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the Northern Arizona Wranglers and, talking about Matt Kayward, who's a veteran, by the way.
That's exactly right.
And so it's everything, man, because I was fortunate where I didn't have to go and serve. I went to college, and sometimes I look back on my life and go, man, did I pull my weight? You know what I'm saying?
Did I do as much as I could have?
Did I, did I do those things?
Yes.
Because the mighty men and women that have dedicated their lives, the families of the mighty men and women, our sons and daughters that have dedicated their lives for our lifestyle, our freedom. There aren't words to describe that, you know?
Nope.
In 2004, I was selected to coach in the United States Army All-American High School National Game in San Antonio, Texas.
All right.
And my good friends, Herman Boone and Bill Yost, the coaches that they made the movie Remember the Titans about, invited me on a tour during that week. And I forget, what's the hospital in San Antonio there? It's a national hospital, like Walter Reed back in D.C. The hospital in San Antonio was the National Burn Unit.
Okay.
And at the time, I was against the war in the Middle East. You know, I didn't believe that we should have put our sons and daughters in peril. When they invited me on this tour back in 2004, they warned me, what you're about to see, don't show, you know, the patients your feelings, because what you're about to see, it's going to be shocking to you.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know,
Okay.
what I saw from our sons and daughters and the ultimate sacrifice, I had to leave the building because I was crying. And I didn't want anybody to see me crying. It was amazing to think that our sons and daughters sacrificed the way they did. And I literally had to leave the building because I was emotional. Because I know a lot of their friends didn't make it back. That's
Right.
why we honor them today. You know, so many of their family members and brothers and sisters in arms didn't make it for us to be able to do what we do. And so it's a long answer, but it deserves a long answer.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
it does.
I mean, it means everything, you know, everything.
And we say a special thanks to all those veterans out there in the viewing audience tonight, especially here on Memorial Day, where we pay tribute to everyone who paid the ultimate sacrifice, guys, gave up their life for our freedom, for us, way back when they didn't even know us. And you think about that, the monumentalness of that sacrifice, and you can't really put it into words. So we say a special thanks to all the veterans and anyone who served in the military, and we appreciate everything that you've done for us and continue to do to allow us to have fun and come out here and cut up and talk about some Northern Arizona Wranglers football.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, if you want, you guys can go over there and talk about the Spokane game. I'll take it from here, fellas. You know what I'm saying?
No, we're going to send you
Okay.
over there with KD, and you guys are going to chop it up for a minute and talk about that upcoming game, Spokane Shock. Once again, that's going to be this Saturday night over at the Findlay Toyota Center, 6 p.m. kickoff. 6:05, excuse me, p.m. kickoff.
You know, we need the ninth man
against
out there.
Spokane.
The commitment and the fan base of that first game. Oh my goodness!
How about that?
How strong is our community here
Incredible.
in Prescott Valley, the Cinco Cities, and
So strong.
You know, we want to continue that type of support, man. It humbled me. I know that when I took the field, I was humbled when I saw the size of the crowd.
Yeah, the
And
place
so-
was packed, and the energy was electric,
Right,
Coach. Everyone was
right.
excited to have football back here in Prescott Valley,
Right.
and the families were there. The kids were running around. Everybody was having a good time, and then they got to come out and see the players after the game was over, and it was just great all the way around.
Right.
All the way around. Speaking of support, let's pay a special thanks to Findlay Toyota in Prescott Valley for sponsoring the Wranglers Roundup here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers YouTube channel. We're going to send Coach Promonte over to chop it up with KD in our final segment of the evening. They're going to preview the game this coming Saturday night at the Findlay Toyota Center against the Spokane Shock, Ed.
Findlay Toyota Center, the game between the Wranglers and the Shock, where our wildflowers and ropers, our young kids can get involved,
That's
sponsored by the
right.
Daily Courier. So you can join our wildflowers and ropers kids club for only $35. And for kids aged to 12, that includes a Wranglers t-shirt, a small football, a pizza party / movie night, fan tunnel every game, and a personal picture with whiskey.
How about that?
How
Who doesn't
great is
want a
that?
picture with whiskey, right?
I got my picture on opening night.
You better believe it. We're going to send it now over to our sideline reporter, Mr. Kevin Derryberry. He's with Coach Promonte, and they are going to chop it up about those Spokane Shock.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Ed. And we are here with Dominick Promonte, the head coach, the front man of the Northern Arizona Wranglers. It's a front man that can now hear the audio here. How sweet is it to hear my voice in this audio right now, Coach?
Definitely, man. You know, I mean, now I can hear exactly what you're saying.
So, you've been hanging around Zen just a little bit because I feel like you've got some of his characteristics right now. You're kind of laid back, a little chill here, and I like it. I like the attitude.
It's easy when you have a group of young men that work as hard as they do and give you everything they have. It's easy. They're good people. They're blues, we call them.
Blues.
They're blues, and that's the goal.
Well, there's a couple things we want to cover here in this segment, but you talk about the Blues and the Reds, and you mentioned the Red for just a moment. We've had a couple of Reds on the squad here over the last week or so. We've lost a couple of players that maybe when we chalked this thing up at the beginning didn't necessarily expect, but could you elaborate just a little bit on the fact that character is everything, and if you don't have the right character, if you're not walking the line here as a member of the Wranglers and doing it the Wrangler way, then you might not be around very long.
Not you might, you won't. It takes, character men to go where we want to go. As I said in the last segment, we want to build sustained success.
Right.
Year in and year out. We want to be, where the Arizona Rattlers are. We want to be where Sioux Falls Storm are. We want to be in that neighborhood. And to do that, you do it with men of character.
Sure.
Men of distinction. Men who put the team first. Coach Jack Harbaugh likes to say the team, the team, the team. And he's a military historian. What's his name? General Douglas MacArthur, in his retirement speech, honored the Corps. And he said, the Corps, the Corps, the Corps. Well, Bo took that and went, the team, the team, the team. And that's what we believe, the team, the team, the team. We have cut some very good, talented players in the last 10 days. From 10 days ago to today, we cut some phenomenally talented, some blues we cut. We've cut some athletic Reds. We will not accept players who live on their talent, because that's individualism.
Right.
And for us to go where we're going to go, everybody's got to pull on the rope the same way, on and off the field. We're not just looking for winners on the field. We're looking for winners off the field also that will honor our community and represent our community, and we will just not accept Red behavior. We want our community to be proud of us. And when they point out our players, we want them to say, that's a good man right there. That man I'll have talk to my child, my son, my daughter,
sure,
for leadership or motivation or any of those things. That's important to us, and we will only have blues on our team, men of character, men of distinction.
And it just goes to support. Doesn't matter what level you're at, whether you're in the Canadian Football League, you're playing in the Indoor Football League, whether it's on Sundays in the National Football League. We know the acronym in the NFL, not for long, right? You've got to continue to take care of business at the lower level, walk the walk here, and then you have a chance if you can play that well, if you last long enough.
And the goal is that these men that are the mighty men of the Northern Arizona Wranglers take our mindset, our culture, and apply it to their personal lives. Because if they buy into the culture, they'll be better husbands, better fathers, better friends, better members of the community, because, we constantly remind them about being blue.
Right.
Two types of people in the world, average and special. And, to be special, you got to do special things, like be blue consistently.
Sure.
And that's what we're looking for. We're looking to build a team here. This is not the biggest community around. So when you're not in the biggest community, your product is a big product.
Absolutely.
And we have got to get it right in our community. We have got to get it right. We have got to be men of the community, men that represent this community the way, our law enforcement heroes represent this community, the way our fire department represents this community, the way the Granite Mountain Hotshots represented this community. We want to be part of that fabric, of this community. It's important to us.
There it is. You mentioned it several times, and that's not the first time you mentioned that. And that's just that's something that is a sustained message, and you will continue to deliver that message. No question about it. Coach, let's have some fun here. The indoor football, they put out like a weekly poll, a coaches poll. I want to know who from our organization is involved in this coaches poll, because whatever, they got the Wranglers 12th again this week. I understand it,
right?
But who from our staff is engaging in such a project here?
I have no clue. I would think maybe Matt Kayward. You know, Matt will try to take a shot at me any way he can. He probably puts in a vote. Listen, I'm voting for us to be last because Coach B doesn't know what he's doing. And so, you know, I'm proud of where we are.
Sure.
You know, and I tell our guys, you know, hey, man, we talk about it. You know, that, hey, we're 12th. We're right where we need to be. And after 2 games, it's right where I want to be. Why? Because that means no one's going to climb higher than us. And we will climb when the time is right. Mm-hmm. You know, when we all pull on the rope at the same time.
And like you say, it's a process.
It's a process. We will climb higher than any team in this league will climb. And so we're right where we need to be. We're right where we need to be.
Dominick Promonte, our guest on the Northern Arizona Wranglers Roundup. Coach, you get the Spokane Shock right here at home inside that Findlay Toyota Center, 6:05 Saturday night. The Shock come back with a big win here. 27 unanswered points to pick up the victory against Massachusetts, who remain winless, an expansion team as well. But what surprised me about the Shock is how well their defense is playing. I'm just curious, what kind of challenges do they pose on film for you here heading into this one Saturday?
Well, they're really not an expansion team. You know.
No, I mentioned UMass was.
Well, they're a team that came from the NAL. They're not really an expansion team.
Okay.
They were an existing franchise that was in the NAL that joined the IFL. The really, truly expansion teams are the Northern Arizona Wranglers and the Louisville Extreme, that, you know, ranked 11th and 12th in the league. Those are the really true expansion teams.
Okay.
The other teams that are new to the league all came from other leagues. And so what that means is they've had a decided advantage in starting their season. Mm-hmm. I would rather be a true expansion team. That's the reason why we recruited the way we recruited. I did not recruit from my old team. We didn't recruit anybody from the old team. One player we did. One player who hadn't played. He played for us in 18 or 19. He was the only one that we recruited. We wanted to start fresh and build our own impression, you know, our own foundation, you know, because the goal is to build sustained success and to do it with our players. When I say our players, Northern Arizona Wrangler players.
Wranglers.
To do it with our players from day one. You know, when we say, hey, man, we're going to climb the mountain. That's where we are. Spokane is a rich tradition franchise in the AFL. You know, Spokane was a great football team. They've got a great football coach in Billy Back. Billy Back has been successful in every league that he's coached in. And so you talk about their defense. They're a physical defense, man. They're going to come. They're going to gang tackle. They're going to play hard. And what a great test for us, man. You know, I would hope that the football fan here in Northern Arizona could appreciate seeing 2 marquee franchises for their first 2 games in the Arizona Rattlers and the Spokane Shock.
Yes.
It doesn't get any better than that and tougher than that. And so it's going to be a huge challenge for us to compete with the Spokane Shock, and I believe that we're up to the challenge.
Good quarterback, Charles McCollum, another good player.
Been
athletic.
around for a long time with Coach Back. Him and Coach Back have been together for a couple of different franchises in a couple of different leagues. And so there's that familiarity that we have to deal with. And so it's just another step in the ladder, another step in the staircase for us to climb to where we want to, have to climb.
And here's the deal, guys. We're getting to understand some of this Northern Arizona, this Prescott vernacular, right? I know Verlon Reed has been talking about how we say Prescott. It's Prescott.
It's Prescott.
There's been a lot of conversation. Is it Spokane or Spokane? Coach Promonte just mentioned it right there. It's Spokane. That's what it's been like. I was introduced to the Spokane Indians back in the day. Minor league baseball. So we love it. Let's go with Spokane all across the board. We've got the Shock in our barn, and let's Let's give them a little shock on Saturday night, huh?
We're capable of it, now if the football gods are with us and we block and tackle and our goal is to improve that first quarter. We've struggled in our 2 preseason games in that first quarter, and by the time we get going, we find ourselves down 4 scores and so we know how to fight, we know how to battle, we know how not to give up, we know how to do that. Now we just got to learn how to start the game a little bit better, and then we're cooking with oil.
Dominick Promonte, our guest right here on the Wranglers Roundup. Back to you, fellas.
Always good stuff right there from Coach Promonte and KD. Ed, it's been a fantastic show here inside the Colt Grill in Prescott Valley. Let's talk a little bit about the Colt Grill before we sign off here for the evening. Some wonderful food, a great atmosphere. We had dinner just before the show here, and it was right on point.
Yes,
friend.
it was. We all had brisket sandwiches, and they were phenomenal. It was hard for us. It was hard for me to get up from that table and come over here because I just
it's
wanted
not
to
that
stay
far.
there.
It's really just right over there.
It's right over there, but I didn't want to come because the brisket was so good. But I knew we had to do the show, but still, the brisket, everything here is out of this world, phenomenal. The atmosphere is great. The customer service, you're treated like kings and queens, as we talked about in the beginning of the show. This is a phenomenal place to come. The Colt Grill. Again, just a stone's throw from Findlay Toyota Center, where we'll be Saturday night when the shot comes to town.
Yes, and you get great food here, and then you get to come down and hear some Northern Arizona Wranglers football talk.
Absolutely.
So we're going to be here every other Monday night, starting tonight, obviously, going throughout the season. So make plans to join us every other Monday night right here inside the Colt Grill in Prescott Valley, Arizona. 6 p.m. we get started. We were a little bit late this evening. We apologize for that, but we were making sure everything was ready, and we were honestly waiting for one of the defensive linemen to finish his brisket sandwich. Ed, is
Of
really
course.
what it was.
That's how good the food was. We had to wait for him to finish because the brisket is no joke here. You got to come out and try it.
We understood for sure. So
absolutely.
Special thanks to Jay for having us out and everyone here. It's been fantastic. The service has been great. Don't forget to make sure and get yourself some tickets for Saturday night over at the Findlay Toyota Center. It's going to be 6:05 p.m. kickoff.
Veterans Night.
Spokane Shock and the Northern Arizona Wranglers Veterans Night. You mentioned that, Ed. We'll be celebrating all the veterans. There are some special programs going on through the game and the halftime as well. And so that's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a great time. It's great. Bring your family out. It's family fun.
Absolutely.
At its finest. Ed,
Absolutely.
really.
What better way to spend a Saturday evening in Prescott Valley, Arizona, than to come see the Northern Arizona Wranglers, right?
Yes, indeed. And if you can't make it out, obviously we want you to go ahead and catch us on the YouTube broadcast. That's going to be live on the Indoor Football League YouTube channel. Every one of those games is going to be broadcast, and a national game coming up on June 26th. That'll be broadcast on Stadium.
That'll be fun, yes.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us here at the inaugural edition of the Wranglers Roundup inside the Colt Grill in Prescott Valley. For my partner, Ed Cole, our buddy Kevin Derryberry over here to the side. Everyone have a great night. We appreciate you tuning in, and make plans to join us 2 weeks from tonight right back here at the Colt Grill in Prescott Valley. Everyone have a great evening. Take care, and go Wranglers.